This is why I plan on producing 100 songs for Arizona artists in 2026. Reason number one, I know how costly it can be to have to go to YouTube and spend hours and hours looking for the perfect beat or having to pay producers upfront fees, and that could be cost prohibitive, number one. And number two, that money should be honestly used on some visuals or some type of promotion for the actual song. I'm just not in a season of being money hungry to make, $50, $100, $200 per beat at the moment. I understand some people got to do that in order to eat, and that's their hustle. But for me personally, like, I'm not depending on that to put a roof over my head and food on the table. So I'm in, this space where I want to just collaborate with artists and split everything 50-50. Reason number two, I'm loyal to the soil, man. I grew up in Tucson. I'm in the Phoenix metro area now, and I've lived all over. I've lived in DC, New York, LA, dealing with the music scenes out there. And coming back here, I realized that there's a lot of talent, but there's not necessarily um, collective community. It seems like there's different pockets and scenes of people who are doing well and maybe popping online or may have their thing going. But I think it'd be super dope to get maybe like an R&B singer from this lane to make a song with, maybe somebody who might be talking about street life in their raps. And that's honestly where like my love of music started, was a lot of those radio hits back in the early 2000s that kind of blended worlds together. And I think we have opportunity for that, especially because people are constantly saying Arizona doesn't have a sound. Arizona doesn't have a sound. Well, one way to get to a new sound is to really build from the ground up. And I feel like I have an eclectic music taste. I specialize in making house type beats, even though I can do hip hop, R&B, etc. But I'm a jack of all trades when it comes to production, so I think I can contribute in that way. Reason number three is I work extremely fast. I kind of had to learn trial by fire, being out in New York, being out in LA, and going in sessions and playing beats that I prepared, and people may not have been rocking with them. So I was like, all right, I gotta learn how to cook up on the spot. And so I learned how to do that. Hip hop, trap, R&B, West Coast, pop music, funk, rap, disco rap, house music. I can really do it all. Sample type beats. And the only thing I ask is, if you're reaching out and you want to work, to actually have some music accessible on your page or send me a link, because I've been getting a lot of messages of like, oh, I'm serious, oh, I want to work, but then I go to somebody's page and you could tell like they're, barely starting off, or they don't have any music on their page. So especially if I'm, willing to book the studio space and use my time, energy, and experience to produce for an artist, I at least want to see that they're pushing their music or they have some type of potential.